back to the Bro Tech Gaming Podcast. My name's Carlos. His name is Sean, and this is going to be our review for The Last of Us Episode 3.
Episode number 3. So yeah, definitely a different episode than I think what we were both expecting. I think we were expecting things to go a lot differently. That could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing, depending on like where you're coming from. Michelle actually liked the episode a lot. I actually liked the episode a lot, despite the obvious changes they made with Bill's character. A lot more backstory on Bill. Um, Definitely get to see a different side of him that you don't see in the game, because in the game Bill's kind of an asshole. Like, you
Yeah,
don't really like Bill in the game. Um, that being said, like, the gamer in me obviously was wanting something different out of the episode, but the emotional, like, showrunner side, that's just coming to watch it and appreciate it. There's definitely a lot for me to appreciate out of the episode, even though it was very, very different, from the game interpretation. So, like, why don't you talk to us, Carlos, about how you felt about the changes that they made in the episode regarding Bill's character.
yeah. To be honest, I was kind of 50-50 on it.
Mm,
I noticed that they gave him more. Oh, obviously they gave him more backstory. They gave Bill and Frank their own episode basically because Joe and Ellie only come out in the beginning for a couple minutes and then they come out at the end for a couple minutes.
mm,
Um, I I do like it because we get to we do get to see what they went through as far as Bill from the beginning all the way to the end.
mm.
Frank, he comes in a couple years later and they fall in love and they do what they do.
Yeah,
But I honestly was not expecting it to be like it was, just a full blown episode of just them two.
yeah,
I kind of would have wanted it to be like a little bit in and out, like they show Bill and Frank's life, and then they kind of cut back to Joel and Ellie, like making their way over there.
yeah.
I think for me that probably would have been a little bit better.
Hmm.
It was really a slow episode. I kind of told you it was kind of gonna be a filler episode, and
You thought it was
and
gonna be filler, yeah.
yeah, and in my
You,
opinion, it was. I know other people might have their opinions, but
yeah.
like I think in the grand scheme of things, Bill and Frank don't really matter to this show now
Hmm.
because Ellie never meets Bill,
Yeah,
and she meets him in the game, and they have a back and forth.
yeah,
I think Joel even met him. When Joel meets Bill is when Ellie meets Bill also. So
yeah, yeah. And I've honestly, like, I think I kind of cheat because I kind of watch the gameplay to sort of prep myself for the upcoming episodes, because I want to experience like both sides, and like, obviously things were very different. Like I said, Bill in the game, not a very likable character. The only thing that really does upset me is the dialogue that Ellie and Bill have in the game was such good dialogue. Like, they have like this very like witty, sarcastic banter, like back and forth. Um, I really like that in the game, and I wish we would have got more of that in the show. But the version of Bill in the show is much more likable, and I respect him a lot more. I care more about him in the show, whereas like in the game, it's just like he was just kind of like a checkpoint, like in the game, it's like, okay, like here's another section that we're gonna like get through some zombies and infections, and we're gonna get some supplies, we're gonna get some gear, and we're gonna be on our way. And like the last thing Bill says in the game is like, you got everything you need, and like Joel's like, yeah, and he's like, okay, well, we square, and Joel's like, yeah, we're square, and then Bill's like, okay, well, get the fuck out of my town. and like and that was the last thing like Bill ever says, and you like never see him ever again. So he's not really relevant anyways, like after you meet him in the game. But in the show, I guess it's kind of a little bit more lasting, because he has that last message that he gives to Joel, which is like, protect the ones that you care about. Which, like, obviously, and like, I don't know if you ever watch like the 5 minutes after the end of the episode, when they kind of talk about, like, they break it down, like why they made certain changes. But maybe that's kind of the turning point that Joel needed to decide, I guess I do need to protect Ellie after all, because I've already lost so many people. Like, I can't keep losing people. So,
Yeah, that's true. And so
Mhm.
when Ellie gets inside the house, she does find that gun that's inside the drawer.
Yeah.
I thought that she was gonna read the letter that was underneath it, but she didn't. Because
Mhm.
Joel was coming downstairs, so she just stashed her gun inside her backpack, which is gonna be like something's gonna happen with that later on down the road. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
already know what's gonna happen, but
they wouldn't put an emphasis on that. I'm kind of like annoyed that Joel is still not okay with letting Ellie have a gun though, because like yeah, there's that whole stash. He's gonna need all the help he can get, but obviously like this is the gamer side of me talking because like Ellie in the game is actually very helpful. So
yeah,
we haven't seen that side of her so much yet in the actual show, but I guess maybe we're just building up to that. Like obviously there's only so much character development you can have when they have to cut so much filler out of it in the show. So I think Joel still has a long way to go before he really truly starts trusting Ellie. But they're giving you like little bits and pieces here as the show goes on.
yeah. I was a little bit confused by that too because there is a whole wall, a whole like basement full of guns, and
Yeah.
like, what is it gonna hurt if she has one gun?
Yeah, and I mean, like I'm sure that Joel stashed a whole bunch of them before they took off. Like we didn't see how much gear he actually looted, but I'm sure he's got a pickup truck full of it. But without spoiling like anything coming up, like we all kind of know what happens with that pickup truck and like the next destination. So,
Yeah,
um,
I feel like the way that they got the pickup truck in the game was so much better than in the show, because in the
yeah,
video game you're pushing the truck down the street to try to get it started, and you have all these like runners and infected running at you, and you gotta stop pushing the truck, pick them off, wait till it's clear again, and then start pushing it again. I felt
yeah,
like it was so much better in the game than in the show.
yeah. Like I think this show was definitely meant for a different audience. I think like knowing what they were going to do, I think that they knew they were going to sort of like upset the diehard like gamers. But I think in exchange they did something for the viewers that was actually more than just like having it be an action sequence. Although, yeah, I wish they might have had a little bit more tension there. Like every time they did like a time jump, I'm thinking to myself, it's like, okay, is it gonna get to a point where like Bill's just gonna be by himself? Like we know more about who Frank is now, but then like Bill's gonna be by himself, and then Joel Ellie's gonna run up, and maybe like I'm thinking maybe Bill decides like he doesn't care about the upkeep of the town anymore, which is why more like infected and stragglers end up coming in. So it's not even about him like upkeeping it and fortifying the town. Like maybe he's just like letting it be. And that might have caused, that might have been a whole different episode if they tried to do that, obviously. But I don't know. Like I still did like the episode despite it being so different from the game. Like it's more meant for the story than it was for, honoring like the action aspect of the game. So
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on that pickup truck scene. I really felt like when they go over to find Bill and Frank and they're dead,
mhm.
and Joel's charging the battery. I felt like that would have been a perfect time to actually do that scene, where
Yeah.
they have the truck ready,
Yeah.
and they like a whole bunch of infested kind of jump, like run over the fence or whatever. They actually get over and he has to push it and jump in. I feel like that would have been cool.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if they really wanted to, which I don't think they're gonna do it, they could potentially do that still in a future episode. Like, if they're on their way and say, like, maybe they start having maybe they have to like stop somewhere, and maybe the truck dies like in between routes, and then maybe Joel has to like push start it while they're in the middle of this like busted up town on their way to Boston, or is it Boston they're going to?
They're
Where's
coming out of Boston,
yeah, they're leaving
so they're
Boston.
going to Wyoming now.
Oh yeah, they're going to Wyoming. Yeah, because I'm thinking of where the hospital is. That's in Utah. But they could still do something sort of in between. I mean, we're 3 episodes in, and there's still like a lot of checkpoints that they have to get themselves to. Um, but I think like when you get to the third episode, they left your expectations like so high with like the clickers and the infected. Obviously they deviated a lot. I'm confident that they'll bring things back again in the fourth episode. Like it'll definitely be more of like a actiony thriller episode because if you really think about it in a show, they can't have like every single episode like an action scenario. Like it can't be just like the video game. So maybe that's why they use it as an opportunity to pull back and just tell more about the story. Because at the end of it all, Joel and Ellie get their truck and they're on their way anyways. So maybe they use that as an opportunity just to like develop more story and give you a reason to care about Bill and his situation more than who he was in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't really have much on the episode. They didn't really go into a lot of stuff besides their life. Um, yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
as far as that, I feel like we can kind of just jump into the ratings.
Yeah, that's cool. So, scale of 1 to 10, what do you think of the episode?
I would give it an 8. I still think
Okay.
it was done really well.
Yeah.
The only thing that I didn't like is I felt like it really killed the momentum from the second episode going into the third. And then I watched the preview for the fourth episode, and they are gonna up the action. So I
Yeah,
just
and it
felt
looks
like
like
it was just a little speed bump in the road.
yeah. And they're adding like more characters too because it showed a female like a female person like interrogating like a soldier and they're like where are they? Who's this chick? So it's not Abby, I know that. So
Yeah,
I'm like so they I think they're adding like another story element to the show. Um but yeah, like I'm pretty sure the next episode is gonna be like they're gonna kick things up a notch again. Um so yeah, for me, I think I would also give it an 8 out of 10, like a high 8 out of 10. Like I definitely appreciate like the story and it was just obviously it was a very different episode. Um I would have liked to have more of that interaction that Ellie and Bill had in the game. Like they had really good dialogue in the game, and I'm kind of bummed out that we didn't get to see some of that because it really shows you just how witty and how like Ellie really can take care of herself. Um so I'm just kind of bummed that we didn't see more of that in the show, but I still give it an 8 out of 10. Um I do like that they included the conversation with Joel and Ellie at the end, where Joel is like, "You don't talk about Tess ever," and they have like their exchange because I remember that distinctly from what the cutscene in the game. So I'm glad that they're still trying to bring the like the roots of the game into the show. So
yeah. All right,
8
so
out of 10.
two 8 out of 10s.
Yeah.
All right. Do you know if they're gonna still have the episode on Super Bowl?
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, I guess we'll wait and see because that'll be what like two weeks from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks from
Um,
today.
I guess we'll see. Like we'll probably get episode 4 next week, and maybe they'll have like a disclaimer. Um, honestly, like I feel like they'll still have it,
Yeah, so we might
but
have to skip that episode because I think you
yeah,
guys are coming over for the Super Bowl. So
yeah. So episode 5 review of our podcast might not come out till Monday night. So
yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, that was the review for damn, what were we watching? The Last of Us,
Yeah, Last of
episode
Us
3.
episode 3. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we both gave it 8 out of 10s. Still excited for the show. Still excited for
Mhm.
next week's episode, and we're
Yeah.
still in it.
Yeah, still in it, and despite obviously like the major change, I'm still confident in the storytelling of the show. Neil Druckmann even said that he has to be very picky and choosy about how far he deviates from the game and how close he sticks to the game. So I mean, he's totally aware of it. He's in control, but I kind of like that we're getting sort of like a different version of it too. Even the things that are different, I still like it, and I still think it's well done. So still
Yeah, for
excited
sure.
for the rest of the show.
For sure.
Yeah.
Tell us if you guys liked the episode in the comments, and we'll get back to you. Just tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, and start a conversation down there.
Yeah.
So until next week, my name is Sean. I mean, my name is Carlos.
Your name's Carlos.
God damn. All right, I'll
My
do that
name is
over.
Sean.
I'll do
This
that
is
over.
thanks for joining us, guys. Please like, subscribe, leave some comments down below. But we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Yeah, it's because I want to be Sean so bad.
Oh, you want to be Sean so bad? Are you drunk already?